Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Pulling Museum, right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a northern thing.
Booyah! And it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. And you're listening to the show on thegamesportshow.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or through the Scott Nason YouTube channel. It is March the 28th, 2019. It is yours truly and host David McCaig inside the tap room here at Northern Superior Brewing Company. We're here at Northern Superior. It is a northern thing. And speaking of this tap room at Northern Superior, they got some delicious beer. And inside this tap room, the projector screen where you can watch the big game that's on, the projector in terms of March Madness, NHL, football when it's on, basketball, now baseball. Northern Superior Brewing Company has you covered here for entertainment inside the tap room, especially when it comes to bands on Fridays, especially for tomorrow, March the 29th. Northern Superior does have some music playing here, so make sure to come on down to Northern to check that out. Or if you want to book your own private party, contact Northern Superior Brewing Company and they will have you covered. And speaking of the beer here, they have that nice new beer, the Irish Red, the Mulligan's Irish Red, which is absolutely delicious. And when Blake Winter's at the helm being your brewmaster, you know the beer is going to be great and your taste buds are going to be 100% satisfied. So make sure to come give that a try, along with trying all the beers that they have here on tap at Northern Superior Brewing Company. Many options to be had and tasted, and Northern Superior Brewing Company has you covered. And as you can tell in the background, it is a lively atmosphere inside this tap room. So if you're not here, then make sure you come on down to enjoy the atmosphere here inside Northern Superior Brewing Company. We here on this edition of the Game Sports Show for Northern Superior Brewing Company want to say thanks to Scott Nason, who's going to be our board operator tonight, and to you, the listeners. And it's just going to be yours truly, David McCaig, for the entirety of the night, as the panel has taken the night off in terms of not being able to attend. Both Justin and Dane were unable to make it tonight, along with Brad, Jamie, Matt, and Dustin were unable to make it as well. So be yours truly bringing you the up-to-date news in Sault Ste. Marie, especially when it comes to the NOJHL, Sioux College Cougars men's athletics, the OHL, and the National Hockey League, where we will transition to the MLB as well to conclude tonight's show. And speaking of that, to give you the full layout of tonight's show, we will open the show with the local hockey scene with the Soo Eagles and the Soo Thunderbirds, which will be followed by the Sioux College men's Cougars hockey team, and then followed by the Soo Greyhounds playoff round 1 against the Owen Sound Attack as it transitions back to here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. We will then have a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and also some NHL news and updates as the playoffs are just around the corner. And we will conclude tonight's show, as I mentioned, with the opening day in the MLB, especially in terms of the Toronto Blue Jays, and this overall MLB wrap-up to conclude tonight's show. Now, this past week with the Game Sports Show on Monday, Scott Nason was at the Wicked Sisters. You can check that out below on the Podbean page or on the website. You can also check out our show from yesterday from Sports Center Bar and Grill with myself, Jamie, and Justin. We had special guests Julian and Hunter on from the Sabercats. And then here tonight, make sure you come back to listen to the rest of that. And also make sure you keep tabs on our social media pages, because this week I will be posting contest giveaways. Contest giveaway will be featured through Facebook or Instagram, where you may have been actually directed to come and listen to tonight's show. We're at the Game Sports Show and at the Game Sports Show SSM respectively. Just make sure you follow the instructions on the social media pages for your chance to get entered into the contest giveaway, courtesy of the Game Sports Show and the Game Sports Show's sponsors. And as I said, to quickly wrap that up, make sure you check out the previous editions of the show. Lots of great content. And going into next week, we will be scheduled to have back to our 4 shows a week, as we did have a last-minute cancellation from Icebreakers this past Tuesday due to the local hockey scene that was going on, but we plan to make that up this upcoming Tuesday. Now, jumping into tonight's show, we're going to transition right into the Soo Eagles discussion and jump in there where the Eagles were unfortunately eliminated in Game 6 against the Rayside Balfour Canadians by a score of 4-0 in front of 648 fans inside Polar Stadium. Very hard-fought series did have the Eagles against the Rayside Balfour Canadians. You know, the first 2 games they were in the game, losing 2-1 and 1-0 respectively, both games. Then going to the third game, losing 3-2. You know, tight games those first 3 games. And the Eagles are a team that should be hanging their head up high, not putting their head down low, because the Eagles are a team that played that series very hard fought. Rayside Balfour, had to battle to win those games, and the Eagles should be proud of their efforts. There is, a team that had a lot of heart on the ice and put it all on the line there. Rayside did edge them 4-0 in that last game, but the Eagles did fight that entire series. Unfortunately, Rayside does move on, and the Eagles are looking now towards the offseason to make those improvements to go beyond in next year's season. But I want to say congratulations to the Eagles for their hard-fought season this past year, and as their last game was on the 26th, which was on Tuesday, now the Rayside Balfour Canadians move on to play against the Soo Thunderbirds. And the Soo Thunderbirds, let me tell you, had a very hard-fought series as well against those pesky Blind River Beavers. The Soo Thunderbirds were in action against Blind River, a team that is very hard-working as well, much like the Soo Eagles. And with the Soo Thunderbirds, it was a series that people thought were just going to be an absolute cakewalk for them, but it actually was not. The Beavers made sure that was not the case, and they worked. The Thunderbirds had to work to win each game in that series, and I got to give respect to the Blind River Beavers, as you know what, when you're an underdog in a series, when really you don't have to be really considered an underdog because of the talent that you have on that ice, but they were in each game as well. The only more so game that was kind of lopsided was a 6-3 loss the Beavers had on March the 17th against the Thunderbirds. It was a total of 6 games that it took for the Soo Thunderbirds to defeat the Blind River Beavers as well. And in that series, there were a total of 3 one-goal games and 2 two-goal games. That shows justice right there and how tight that series was. And Blind River did very well at home, being able to play defensively and withstand big 3-2 victories on the 19th and 22nd. Very hard-fought series between both teams, and the Thunderbirds have to be exhausted going into their series against Rayside Balfour Canadians, but just like Rayside, they're going to be exhausted as they played against a hard-working Eagles team. But the Soo Thunderbirds right now are obviously looking to be favorites in that series against Rayside, but don't underestimate Rayside, as they have some good goaltending there as well and some good hard-working players. But the Soo Thunderbirds are very poised to not be eliminated by Rayside this year and to be able to move on this upcoming series to go on to the NOJHL finals. Now, I must give a little shout out here to the Soo Thunderbirds Facebook page, as they uploaded an article in terms of the NOJHL West Division final preview, and you got to give that a, with the head-to-head, it gives you the scoring, it gives you everything labeled down right to a T, just to give a little bit of points. You have the head-to-head during the course of the season. Thunderbirds and Canadians have met 8 times. The Thunderbirds are winning 5 of those, so 5-3 against Rayside. And the Soo Thunderbirds finished first overall in the NOJHL standings with 89 total points, and the Rayside was second in the division for 69 points. So Thunderbirds had 20 points up on Rayside there. And with the goaltending, Colin O'Hearn had a 3-2 record in 5 starts against Canadians, 3.18 goals against average, and a .924 save percentage. William Anderson was 2-1-1 while sporting a 1.27 average and save percentage of .961 and 1 shutout. So between the pipes for the Canadians, David Bowen had 2-2-1 record, 3.17 goals against average, .918 save percentage, and Sebastian Palamadon was 1-0-1 with a .92 average and a .975 percentage with 1 shutout. So the goaltendings are going to be kind of split down the middle, and between the two goaltending, between Bowen and Palamadon, they both combined for 28 wins. And with teams of the Soo Thunderbirds, the Soo Duo won the NOJHL's Team Goaltending Award for allowing the fewest goals against during the regular season, 145, and combined to register 44 wins overall between the two of them. And as the article goes on and on down to the entirety of it, you got to check that out. It was a great write-up there that the Soo Thunderbirds had down, so you can check out all the stats that you need to know about the head-to-head matchup between the Soo Thunderbirds and the Rayside Balfour Canadians. To give you a full schedule of the Soo Thunderbirds in the West Division Final. Game 1 is Saturday, March the 30th at the John Rhodes Community Center at 7 o'clock, and Sunday, March 31st, will be Game 2 at 7 o'clock at the John Rhodes Community Center. Game 3 and 4 will transition between April 3rd and 4th to Rayside in Chelmsford Arena at 7 p.m. for both those games, and if necessary for Game 5, Saturday, April 6th, will be here in the Soo at 7 p.m. inside the GFL Memorial Gardens. I want to see some butts in those seats. If it gets to Game 5, I want to see the GFL see the most that it's seen for the NOJHL. As you know, Sudbury's close. I want to see Sudbury fans come on down. I want to see Blind River supporters come on down as well. I know it's hard to watch a team that's eliminated you if you're a Blind River Beaver fan, but come on down to watch some good hockey here in the West Division Final, and you can be inside a great atmosphere that GFL Memorial Gardens has. I want to see a lot of people come on down, even people from across the river. Come on over and check out a game through the NOJHL with the Soo Thunderbirds, as Game 5 will be here if it's necessary. Obviously, it's April the 6th at 7 o'clock. Game 6 will be Monday the 8th in Rayside, Balfour at 7 p.m. inside Chelmsford if necessary. And Wednesday, April 10th, will be Game 7 if necessary inside the John Rhodes Community Center at 7 o'clock. I want to give a shout out to the files from NOJHL statistician historian David Harrison with all the records that was provided to the Soo Thunderbirds for that magnificent write-up that you can see on the Soo Thunderbirds website and also the NOJHL website and through the Soo Thunderbirds Facebook page. Definitely check out the Soo Thunderbirds Facebook page. They make sure they have all the events uploaded there and pictures. Definitely some great criteria to check out as well there. Good luck to Soo Thunderbirds as they go forward there, and we plan to have Coach John Parco on as it gets past Game 2 there after Sunday, March 31st. We hope to have him on Tuesday from Icebreakers at 8 o'clock next week. Now, like I said, I want to say congratulations again to the Beavers and the Eagles and also the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds for continuing on, the Beavers and Eagles for great seasons. And as the NOJHL continues, the Game Sports Show will have you covered for that. Now, the Sioux College Cougars men's team giving you an update. They are 2-0 inside Dallas, Texas in their national tournament. Definitely continuing a great tournament down there as the Sioux College Cougars have a very deep team, as we've discussed here a lot on the show. Make sure you keep an eye on Sioux College Cougars as they continue their hunt, as Game 3 will be taking place tonight. So we will have an update next week going into our Monday and Tuesday show on the full result with the Sioux College Cougars, and we will be giving uploads through our Instagram page as well with that as they go into action 2-0 tonight. Now, transitioning from the Sioux College Cougars, going over to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. The Greyhounds are up 3-1 as they come home on Friday, March the 29th, which is tomorrow at 7:07 inside the GFL Memorial Gardens. The Game Sports Show will be in attendance for that game against the Owen Sound Attack, as the Greyhounds hope to eliminate the Owen Sound Attack and win the series 4-1 to move on to the second round. The Greyhounds had a tough first game against the Owen Sound Attack, but have seemed to found their rhythm in the last three games, winning 6-3 and 5-2 and 5-2 respectively in the last two games. Big decisive wins on the road there. When you can go into someone else's barn and score a total of 10 goals in 2 games, only allow 4, that shows the confidence in your play, strong goaltending, and also just shows the composure that the Hounds have been able to show in those games. That big 6-3 rebound win was the big win. If the Hounds lost both at home, it would be a complete different series, obviously. Winning that game and going and winning that pivotal Game 3 is huge for the Hounds. That gave them that momentum to come through and win Game 4. The Hounds are going to look to close the series, as I mentioned, 7:07 inside the GFL Memorial Gardens on Friday, which is tomorrow, March the 29th. If they do not close the series, they will be in Owen Sound Sunday, March 31st at 7, and if necessary, if there is a Game 7, it'll be at 7:07 Tuesday, April the 2nd, inside the GFL Memorial Gardens. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds want your support and need the fan support. I remember being inside the Memorial Gardens when it was the old arena, and you could not breathe, let alone you could be in third row standing. I want to see fans pack inside the Gardens, get loud for your Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, back with a bite, great tag with the Hounds for their playoff run, and let's support them as they want to get past Owen Sound, want to get past second round and third round, and let's be there to cheer them on and howl them on into an OHL championship. This team can do it, and they are a very, very strong team indeed, and they do not want to let Owen Sound back into the series, and with the help of the fans, we can give them that extra momentum that they love to hear from the stands. to give a quick recap throughout the OHL at this current time. London and Saginaw are up 3-0 in their respective series, and as Guelph is up 3-0 in their respective series against Kitchener as well. London up 3-0 on Windsor, Saginaw up 3-0 on Sarnia. On the other side, Ottawa 6-7s are a team that has swept the Hamilton Bulldogs for zip there. Niagara is up 2-1 on North Bay. Oshawa is up 2-1 on Peterborough. And Sudbury Wolves have swept Mississauga Steelheads to move on to the second round there. Now, if Saginaw and the Hounds can close it in their upcoming games, and London can close along with Guelph, London would play Guelph as Saginaw would play the Hounds in a feared second-round matchup, as I've been told by many experts here in the Sault Ste. Marie area. But it will be probably the most exciting round of the playoffs, as I will tell you, the winner of that second round, if the Hounds and Saginaw are successful to for sure move on, the winner of that second round will be the team to go to the OHL final. I'm going to say that right now. Predictions, you heard it here first on the Game Sports Show. Go Hounds go, as they continue their quest for the OHL championship. It's Dave McCaig inside here at the Northern Superior Brewing Company inside the tap room. Lively atmosphere as always, enjoying a delicious beer. As I had their Irish Red, the Mulligan's Irish Red, which is absolutely delicious. Now I'm having a Northern 55. But another beer that has come on the tap, the Hefeweizen, which is absolutely delicious as well. Their spring beer. You can follow Northern Superior Brewing Company on Instagram and Facebook and be kept in the loop of the events that are going on here and the beers and all that fun stuff. And they also have a great website as well. And you can access their website on the Game Sports Show's website there too. So a lot of areas that you can reach Northern Superior Brewing Company, and you can just call them and come on down and enjoy some great beer here as well. Very excited for the summer, as the show will have some additions at Pier 55 right on the cusp of the Hub Trail. Will be absolutely fantastic there, as we'll be enjoying some great beer that Northern always has. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to be talking about some NHL, Toronto Maple Leafs, and a little bit of baseball to wrap up tonight's show. We got about 20 minutes left here on the show. It's going to be one of the shorter editions here on the Game Sports Show, but action-packed short, as we like to say. You're listening to The Game. Don't go anywhere.
The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Play Museum right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a Northern thing.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and special edition home to the game, Silver Creek Golf Course, located on 104 Bellow Lake Road, Garden River, Ontario. And also shout out thank you to Silver Creek GM Jamie Henderson. Silver Creek Golf Course has many specials to offer for 18 holes, 9 holes, and even Twilight Deal specials. It does not matter what your level of golf game is, it is a must to enjoy the scenic course, memorable experiences that Silver Golf Course offers. Silver Creek also offers a Thursday wing night for you to enjoy food after a stellar time on the course. You can book your tee time by phone or online at golfsilvercreek.com. Silver Creek Golf Course, where all are welcome to play.
The Game Sports Show wants to thank its original home, partner, and sponsor since 2015, Sports Center Bar and Grill, named the Soo's best sports bar for 3 years in a row. Sports Center Bar and Grill is located on 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Make sure to come on down to Sports Center to enjoy the great atmosphere with great cold beverages available, including those delicious Molson products. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow Sports Center on Facebook at Sports Center SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Soo's best sports bar.
The Wicked Sister, Soo, Michigan. Check TripAdvisor, ranked right towards the top. Awarded the Certificate of Excellence, as well as voted #1 pub in the UP. The Wicked Sister has managed to create a casual menu that offers unique, creative, and sometimes healthy offerings that rivals menu selections of any big city. Burgers and starters, snacks and shareables, soups and salads, sandwiches and tapas. On Ashman Street, Soo, Michigan. Welcome to the Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsoo.as.me-. The Salon, making the Soo beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful, new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
This is Andy Frost, and this is the only regional sports show in the Twin Saults. This is the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Saults' only local, regional, and national sports show here inside the tap room in Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's yours truly, David McCaig, enjoying a nice, delicious brew from Northern Superior Brewing Company and enjoying the great atmosphere here at the side the tap room. It is a great atmosphere as always, as I just mentioned, and make sure you come on down to Northern Superior to make them a part of your day or night, or if you want to book an event, you can do so as well. We're continuing tonight's show here. We're transitioning from the local hockey scene, jumping into the professional hockey scene, and that is going to be here with the Toronto Maple Leafs to start. Now, we got about 15 minutes left here on the show. I might be able to squeak 20 out, as I say, with a smirk on my face and probably with producer Ghost and Scott Nason rolling their eyes. But the Maple Leafs right now are 4-4-2 in their last 10. They have not been hot. They've been extremely, scarefully, fearfully, whatever word you want to use, struggle-ish, if that is the right word that I want to use. Or maybe if I choose right proper terms, they've been very lackluster. They have not been playing well, to keep it very simple, opposed to making up words that probably wouldn't be best for the segment. But the Maple Leafs are 45-25-7, 97 points, 7 points up in the fourth place Montreal Canadiens. The Leafs and Habs both have 5 games left. Leafs win next games. If the Habs lose, they clinch. If the Habs lose and the Leafs get a tie, go into overtime and potentially lose, they don't clinch. They clinch. They need to win their next game. The Leafs play the Ottawa Senators. And if listeners remember the Ottawa Senators game that I was at about a couple Saturdays ago where they lost 6-2, I hope that doesn't happen again. The Leafs need to get healthy. Okay? They need to get healthier. Without Gardner there, which I think is the team's third best defenseman, yes, you heard me say that. And you had me chirp Jake Gardner a lot here on the show, but ever since the acquisition of Jake Muzzin, as I think Jake is their second best defenseman, alongside, of course, Morgan Riley, who's having a Norris-esque type season. When Gardner gets healthy, that will help. When Dermott gets into the lineup, that will help, because those two are upgrades over Oshiganov, Marinson, and even Justin Holl. And also puts Hainsey back in the minutes as well. But speaking of minutes, Jake Muzzin is not playing the minutes that he played on the Los Angeles Kings. So I'm saying to you right now that Babcock needs to play Muzzin more. I'm not the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. My coaching experience lies with the Blind River Beavers for 2 years of being an assistant coach. Year and a half to be exact, actually, before stepping down in December, halfway throughout the season. I'll say to you right now that the Toronto Maple Leafs, keys to success going into the playoffs, need to go into the playoffs hot. They need to win these next 5 games. I want the Leafs to go 4-1. At least 4-1 is the record that I want the Toronto Maple Leafs to go in these next 5 games. That gives them 107 points. Might put them in second in the division. Most likely not. They're 5 points behind the Bruins. It depends if the Bruins take a little bit of a slide. Unlikely. But make it respectable to get closer to the Bruins. Go into the playoffs hot. And I want them to do this as well. When they do clinch, and I'm saying when they do clinch, or if you want to go with if you're a hypothetical, or if you're a superstitious individual, I want them, when or if they clinch, to sit Anderson after that fact. Saturday, don't play Sparks. Make sure you play Anderson on Saturday against the Ottawa Senators. I think there are some rumors about Sparks potentially playing, but play Anderson on Saturday. Get that goaltender in there to get the win. Gardner returned to practice to skate. Dermott's been skating. Try to get Dermott back into the lineup if he's ready Saturday. I know it's to be determined. There's been some reports that he is playing, some reports that he's not. The confirmation still remains to be seen. Gardner, I don't think he'll be playing on Saturday. But if Anderson playing that game is key, and the Leafs need to win that hockey game. It goes without saying, they need to clinch the spot. Once they clinch, they should sit Anderson, give him the rest. I know he wants to play lots, try to get out of this funk, but I think for him to get out of this funk is get that last win, rest, and for the last 4 games, maybe play him once, and not the last game of the season. Against the Montreal Canadiens. You don't do that. You give Sparks that last game. But maybe Anderson plays 2 out of the next 5 games is what I want to give. Gives him a little bit of rest, practice time, get focused, and get ready for a big series against the Boston Bruins. The Leafs are going to be playing the Boston Bruins in the first round. If they defeat the Boston Bruins, they have to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. If Toronto beats both those teams, they're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. The winner of the Atlantic Division side is who is going to the Stanley Cup Finals this year. And Anderson needs to be 100% ready for those games against Boston and Tampa Bay, and I think playing the next 2 out of 5 games is what Babcock should do. Don't rush Dermott or Gardner back. Dermott, get him some games in there. Try to get Gardner 1 game before the playoffs, a little bit of ice, and increase Jake Muzzin's ice time, especially now with the 2 players being out, and get these wins and get back to getting the ball rolling there in Toronto. John Tavares getting that 4-goal night was great. 7-5 win, though. The defense is looking sluggish. Anderson looking sluggish. Nylander looks good at center. I don't mind him playing center on some special teams, moving Matthews to the wing. I don't even mind the idea of Toronto splitting up that power play unit to break it up into 2 good units. Just have 1 stacked and 1 okay unit. Power play hasn't been as good as it was last year, and we added John Tavares. Obviously, there's something going there with the chemistry. I'm not saying it's John Tavares' fault, because it's most definitely not his fault. But that insane. To have success, you don't mess with the chemistry. Maybe put that first unit that had success last year and put Tavares on the other unit. Let him spearhead that unit. Let him be in charge. Just an idea. Against the Boston Bruins, if we need a goal in the final minute, then you put that stack line out there. Just a little idea. Now, I'm not a coach right now anymore, and I'm not the coach of Toronto Maple Leafs, nor am I at the stature of Mike Babcock. But I can guarantee you that if some of these amendments are made in terms of the rest side and maybe shaking things up a little bit from that end, the Leafs will improve these last 5 games and their power play percentage. The Maple Leafs have a schedule that is winnable. They have the Ottawa Senators coming up. They have a matchup against the New York Islanders inside New York. You know, it's very important to Tavares. Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Montreal. Carolina, the Islanders, Tampa Bay are in a playoff spot. Montreal, Ottawa are, well, rivalries. Montreal is in that wild card spot, hovering in that playoff spot. Ottawa's not. 1 game that they cannot lose for sure there. And having these games, 3 of them on the road, 2 at home, winning Saturday night and winning 1 of those 2 at home is key for Toronto's success. And as I said, 4-1 might be hard to accomplish, but going to the playoffs hot will be important for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm telling you right now, Leafs got to get back to playing what they can do and get that offense going, and I can't wait until the D-core is actually healthy as well. And against Boston, am I worried? I'm not going to answer that question. And I'm not answering that question because I am. I'm just not answering it because the playoffs are a different cookie. Boston's in Toronto's head, so we'll see how that goes. And the other news, inside the National Hockey League, and as I close that out, don't forget Toronto, Ottawa this Saturday at 7 o'clock in Ottawa, but other games that are going on in the National Hockey League. You have Carolina, Washington currently underway, Columbus and Montreal currently underway, 3-2 Columbus, which is a big hockey game for the Montreal Canadiens and the Columbus Blue Jackets there. I really think that the Columbus Blue Jackets are in that mode of they need to win, and they know that in the locker room might give them that extra bit of hunger as they put all in to win. They only have a 3rd and 7th round pick this year based on all their trades with the Zingle, with Duchesne, with McCaig. They made the moves necessary to try to get into the playoffs. And right now, their first round matchup, they might be playing. Right now, it could be with the Metropolitan Division. If you look at the top of the Metropolitan, if they get into that side, but right now they could potentially be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is not a good date for the first round. Or if you are at the point where you're playing the Washington Capitals, that is not a bad thing in comparison to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think Columbus wants to get that first wild card so they don't have to have the Tampa Bay Lightning in their first round of the playoffs. If you're a Leaf fan, maybe you do want Columbus to play Tampa because Columbus will be a very tough playoff opponent. Saying it right now because of the way they are built. Moving on from that, the Hurricanes are going to end their storm surge celebration. Williams says win or lose, last will occur against the Capitals. It'll be their last storm surge that they're going to do. And people are saying good wins, not good wins. You know what? They had to get butts and seats in Carolina. They're doing it. It worked. I'm not sure if something happened with the Gary Bettman call or if someone said something, if the coach said to stop it, or if it's just a thing they plan to do until the end of the season-ish. But the Hurricanes will end, win or lose. It'll be their last storm surge against the Washington Capitals that is going on tonight. So the Carolina Hurricanes ending this, are you for it, that they even had it, or that they are in it? Or do you want to keep seeing it? To be honest, not that I'm a fan of it, and not that I want to keep seeing it, but it was something different to see. You know what? I wasn't against it. But if they would have did it in other teams' barns, oh my God. That would have been something else, though. Would have been something else. I want to jump in to say something right now with how teams are really going about certain ways of their team building. And I'm speaking of this towards management. Kind of a random topic here from my end tonight. The Edmonton Oilers, the Vancouver Canucks, are two teams that I kind of want to compare the first thing off the hop. Edmonton Oilers have removed Chiarelli. Ken Hitchcock might come back for another season, which I think wouldn't be a bad idea at all. But I will say that the Edmonton Oilers need some adjustments. They have to move cap. How can they do so? I think they have to do something with Lucic, even if it takes eating up some of that salary. Sakura. I really think you have to look at the Mikko Koskinen signing. It might be good. It might work out. But that was a tough pill to swallow. But you got to keep Mikko Koskinen there now. You move out some salary there that maybe the Edmonton Oilers should potentially. Depends what pick that they get in the draft. Maybe you move that pick. You bring in a player. I really don't think they have to do too much touching on their defense. I feel like they can sign some free agents in the offseason at an affordable rate for that decor. I think some more offensive output would be good on the wing side. It's too bad they traded a Hart Trophy winner Taylor Hall for Adam Larson. But they could bring in a winger or two that could score some goals and really help out Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. Maybe this team gets shaped out. But when you look at Vancouver in comparison to Edmonton, as I was saying, the way that Vancouver's built, I love what they're doing. Pettersson, Brock Besser, Quentin Hughes. They're going to have a pretty decent draft pick this year, too, as well. The Edmonton Oilers in Vancouver have done it in different ways. Edmonton's had a bunch of first overall picks. It hasn't worked out. They've done different rebuilding tactics, where Vancouver's actually piled up picks, made trades, and took the slow, patient process to get to where they're at. Now, they're not in a playoff spot. They're out by a decent margin. But I like what Vancouver is doing. So am I saying that Vancouver's done a better job than Edmonton with building? Absolutely. I'd be crazy if I didn't say that. I think even Edmonton fans would agree. Edmonton has the best hockey player in the world and arguably one of the best center/wingers with Leon Draisaitl up there too, who you got to say is a top 10 player in the National Hockey League, if not right now playing top 5 quality. So I will say right now that Vancouver is a team that's building better than Edmonton. Look at Arizona. Let's compare other teams. Arizona with the Los Angeles Kings. Why do I do that? Here's why. LA spent a lot of money on signing guys, and they won cups, and they're trying to keep going and try to keep the core together to win multiple, and now it's going to handcuff them. Arizona has been spending years upon years building upon the draft, and they're so close to a wild card spot. They have been having the patience route. The way teams are built in the National Hockey League that I feel has had success, and the reason why I compare teams in terms of that building is because of the patience side. Oilers made the playoffs. They were basically a game away, overtime away, if you want to call it that, in terms of going to the conference finals. They had patience. They drafted McDavid, then something fell off the rails. Vancouver, Arizona, those are teams that have been having patience. Absolute patience. Winnipeg, it took years of some travesty in Atlanta. Got traded over to Winnipeg, and some patience led them down to be first in the Central. Nashville, they drafted them, been successful for the past almost decade. They've had a pretty good hockey team. They did it all through the draft. Toronto Maple Leafs, they did it right through the draft. Tampa Bay Lightning did it better than everybody through the draft. The way teams are built nowadays is through the draft. Modern hockey is through the draft. You want to be successful? When you make trades, you look at acquiring draft picks, and you don't handcuff yourself with signing too many free agents. You look at basically getting the right players at the right price that are going to help your team at that respective position. You're going to sign a star winger or center. Leafs signed John Tavares. It was a need in Toronto. They need a defenseman too. But do they need a $5 million defenseman in the offseason? No. They need maybe a good $3.8 million contract. Maybe I'm making a hint there with certain defensemen you can acquire for $3.8. Maybe make trades with teams that have defensemen that have lower cap hit that play that position best. Block shots. Get in the shooting lanes. Get the puck out of the zone. You have Morgan Riley solidifying the way there. In terms of the Edmonton Oilers, you have Clefbaum and Nurse. The Jets, you have Bufflin. You have guys that can put that offensive output. You just need guys that are going to keep the puck out of that too by blocking those shots and not getting themselves out of position. Forward-wise, you need a winger. You draft good, strong wingers, but if you need to get a winger, you get a winger that is going to have good chemistry and good speed with good playmaking centers. So what is my whole point of this splur on for almost 10 minutes? Is with building a team, you have to build the right team, but do it through the draft and without handcuffing yourself in cap. And the reason why I bring up Vancouver and Edmonton was the first two teams is because Edmonton's in a little bit of a cap area where Vancouver's not. What do you think as fans in the National Hockey League? Do you like building through the draft? Or are you a fan of making trades with draft picks, building a team? Building with what you had and expand on it through trades, because that is a different thing. If you just build through the draft without making deals, it's a different talent, and a lot more patience is required. When it comes to that patience, Arizona knows it better than anybody. Despite getting rid of Perlini and Strome for Schmaltz, obviously that trade is not going to work out. Sometimes patience is key with some young guys of finding the right players and the right fit. And that will conclude the portion of what I talk about in terms of building a team. That build it to the draft and patience and having the right players play together. And prime players are Perlini and Strome that are finding the rhythm in Chicago. Just saying. I want to hear your thoughts on what you think about how teams should be built. I know Toronto fans are loving the way teams are built and throughout the draft, and I certainly know Tampa fans, are loving it as well. Now, one more thing I want to jump to in the National Hockey League is Seattle. I want to know what people really think of their name. I was really sitting down. I think I'm convinced, and I'm finally going to say it, the Seattle Kraken. I know there's a Seattle Whale. I know there's a lot of different names going out there. I think they're going to be called the Kraken. What do you think? Will it be the Kraken or will it be another team? Just saying. Pretty excited to see how this team does if they are going to be at the point of what Vegas did with the expansion draft. Now, one thing, the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy is awarded annually by Professional Hockey Writers Association to the player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, dedication to the ice hockey. A player from each team is nominated by local chapter. Those nominations are being revealed on Thursday. The list will be narrowed to 3 finalists, and a winner will be announced in the Las Vegas. And to mention on a few names that are out there in terms of Canadian teams, you have Giordano from the Calgary Flames that has been nominated. You have Andre Sakura from the Edmonton Oilers, Andrew Shaw from the Habs. You have Jean-Gabriel Pajot from the Senators. You have Tyler Ennis from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jakob Markstrom from the Vancouver Canucks, and Dmitry Kulikov from the Winnipeg Jets. Some notable names to being Soo Greyhound fans. Joe Thornton has been nominated for that as well, and also Robin Leonard has been thrown up on there as well. A lot of good names. You could check it out on the NHL website. Who do you think will win the Bill Masterson Trophy? If I had to really stick my arm out and say this right now, I'd love to see a Leaf win it, but I don't think Ennis has the kind of runner-up votes that he's going to have in comparison to a lot of other players. I really think that the player that's going to win this year the Bill Masterson Trophy will be Joe Thornton. Just saying. Moving on from the National Hockey League, that's been the update from the National Hockey League for now, as we'll get into more next week. As next week, when we're here from Northern Superior Brewing Company, we will have an idea, most likely, of where each team is seated and when the playoffs is going to be starting for teams and times, etc. Very excited to see what that lays. But we obviously know if Toronto clinches this weekend or with the next couple games that they're going to be playing Boston. And are they going to be playing the TD Garden, or are they going to squeak out a way to get into that second season? I think that'd be very important. We'll have it all here next week on the Game Sports Show. The MLB started today. Opening day, just a couple minutes here to jump into the MLB. The Toronto Blue Jays played against the Detroit Tigers, losing in extra innings. They lost 2-0 in the 10th inning to the Detroit Tigers. And you know what? Marcus Stroman, 7 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Biagini and Ken Giles had some time, and 3 strikeouts apiece did they have in their innings of work. Fantastic. Daniel Hudson fortunately had 2 runs in the next inning and had struck out 2. Kind of a rough start there for Hudson in his Blue Jay debut. In terms of hits for the Jays, you had Drury and Teoscar Hernandez, who got the 2 hits for the Toronto Blue Jays. Everyone else just went 0-4 or 0-3 or even 0-2 if you're Rowdy Tellez, respectively. For the Tigers with RBIs, Christian Stewart getting a 2-run RBI to solidify the 2-0 win. Jordan Zimmerman had 7 innings pitched with 4 strikeouts, and Shane Green gets the win for the Detroit Tigers opening day against the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays do play against the Detroit Tigers tomorrow, which is Friday at 7:07, and they continue into the weekend, Saturday, and also they play the Detroit Tigers on Sunday at 1:07 at the Rogers Center. Now, opening day has been very, very excited for the MLB fans, feeling their excitement with the season getting started. Seattle Mariners are up in the end of the 5th right now, 8-2 over the Boston Red Sox. You have Kansas leading 5-3 over Chicago. You have the Yankees leading 7-2 over Milwaukee. You have Philly leaving Atlanta 10-4. The Cubs 12-4 over the Texas Rangers. As a lot more games are going on, you can get all the updates inside the MLB right there. Speaking of opening day, the Dodgers set a opening day record, 4 home runs on an opening day. Now, those Dodgers, with Jock Hernandez, leave with 4 home runs between the two of them, and they had 8 home runs against the D-backs opening day. That is absolutely amazing. The Dodgers look like a threat, let me tell you. In Bryce Harper's debut, the Phillies look absolutely amazing. And Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom also making opening day history. They struck out 10 apiece, at least, on opening day. They come the first second pair of opposing starters to strike out at least 10 on opening day. Absolutely amazing opening day it was. Everything was expected, and Seattle fans must be looking pretty excited right now with them being high up on those Red Sox. Those revamped Mariners lineup looking pretty solid indeed, for sure. Now, going back to the Toronto Blue Jays, the Blue Jays this year in a division where they are not going to finish ahead of the Red Sox or the Yankees. I think they can finish ahead of the Baltimore Orioles. It's going to be close between the Tampa Bay Rays as well. And in terms of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., there is a team that I hope doesn't rush Vladimir Guerrero in. And like I said on previous editions of the Game Sports Show, I would like to see Vlad play select games, but then play the rest of the season in the minors along with Bo Bichette. The young guys I want to see in this lineup next year, I want to see guys like Teoscar Hernandez continue to grow. Randall Gritchek, I want to see him grow. Lodge Gurriel Jr. grow. Rowdy Tales grow. Danny Jansen, I want to see these guys grow and become leaders for when those other guys come up. And then when all the young guys are in a lineup, give them a year together next year. Then the following year, it's time to make some noise. After next year, the Blue Jays go into the free agency market, round out even more guys with pitching, and a star-studded team will get back to where we were a couple years ago, back in the postseason. Mark my words, give it a couple more years, Jays fans. Just be patient. Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette are coming, and they're coming in hot. Opening day was everything as expected to be. And the Game Sports Show will be covering everything here local. So say Marina Baseball this year as well, along with the MLB throughout the entirety of the summer. That's going to do it for tonight's show here for the Game Sports Show live at Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's been yours truly, David McCaig, for the entirety of tonight's show, and I certainly hope you enjoyed it, and I'm very happy and thankful that you're able to join me here tonight. I want to say thank you to Scott Nason, our board operator tonight as well, and to John Cavalier, Blake Winter, and the staff here at Northern Superior Brewing Company for their great hospitality as always. And I want to say that listeners, again, remind you to make sure you keep an eye on our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram, for uploads for your chance to win contest giveaway prizes courtesy of the Game Sports Show and our sponsors. And speaking of those sponsors, I want to say thank you to Northern Superior Brewing Company. Of course, I want to say thank you to Sports Center Bar and Grill, The Wicked Sister, Eagle 95.1, Icebreaker Sports Bar and Grill, Silver Creek Golf Course, Discover the Canvas, The Salon, The Superior Pro Shop, North Star Sports and Auto, and also Big Brother, Big Sister, and a big special shout out to Northern Critters in Need. And speaking of Northern Critters in Need, I am fostering a beautiful dog named Kendrick who is still up for adoption. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I love this dog. I wish I could adopt him. That is how perfect he is. He is an amazing dog, well trained, and you don't know what you expect when you bring in a rescue dog, but he's been everything that amazement defines and more. If you really want a friend and a great dog, he is the guy for you. I wish I could adopt him, but I am not able to do that due to my certain situation and living situation. So I hope he is able to go to a good home, and he deserves the best because he is honestly the best dog next to my dog that I have with my parents. I also want to say shout out to Superior Pro Shop as well to be a sponsor here on the Game Sports Show for all they do for the show as well. And for next week, we'll be back on Monday at the Wicked Sister. Myself, Scott Nason, Butch Davis, and EJ Russell, and potentially Katie Woolen. First hour live on Eagle 95.1, 6 or 7, and then second hour podcasted on the Podbean page and the Game Sports Show website. If you have any questions or concerns or potentially want to bring up something that I may have forgotten to bring up on my next show, or just have a conversation with me about, don't hesitate to comment below or reach out to me on any of the social media pages. I will gladly talk to you because I love talking sports. And in general, I like talking. Like, look, just did another show that I did myself that I've done before, and I did it all just by me talking. Love talking. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. You've been listening to the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. Dave McCaig here signing off from the Northern Superior Brewing Company, reminding you, listeners, to keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch your touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.